If there's one thing I will commend, it's that this episode is a lot better. I did enjoy it. I am MegamanNG and I welcome you to my Beast Morphers episode review. Today we talk about episode 6, Hangar Heist. I'll provide a synopsis as well as some of the main points, and there are a few here that I will like to discuss. Why don't we begin, shall we? After last week's episode, Nate is hard at work developing some new tech in the hopes of fighting back against Evox and his forces. Evox, however, is not pleased. He wants them to find Slicerdrome back before it's too late. The Rangers undergo training only for Devon to lash out when things went bad. It becomes a problem, especially for Commander Shaw. But when Evox's forces decide to infiltrate the hangar to get it back, can the Rangers stop them? Can Devon learn to trust his teammates and become a true leader? Not what I would have in mind, but hey, the episode turned out to be pretty good. It's a new episode, and surprisingly, it continues from the events of last week's episode. And before anybody asks, not all episodes are filler. I really still like the idea that the episode continues where it leaves off, like a continuing story. Because most times Power Rangers seasons would have episodes that are pretty much self-contained. But in the case of some shows, I like how the episodes just continue like from one episode to the next, like a continuing story. And judging by this, Evox is not pleased. He isn't pleased after the events of last week's episode, and decides to take matters into his own hands by ordering his generals to recover the stolen Gigadrone that was disabled. The episode's pretty much split twofold. One part has Devon having to contend with trusting his teammates, or in this case, Devon having trust issues. And I will be explaining that in a bit. The other is Evox's generals, aka Roxy and Scrozzle, trying to either recover the Gigadrone, or if they can't, have it destroyed. Trust issues, especially when it comes to Power Rangers, is a common thing. It's a common thing in most Ranger series. When one Ranger, especially the Red Ranger, feels that he knows everything, when in truth he does not. And stuff like that brings problems down the line. It's no exception here. Although I feel personally that since Devon is the Red Ranger, aka Red Buster, he should learn to trust his comrades right from the start. It's a nitpick that I have with the episode because let's face it, you're a Power Ranger, and as a Power Ranger, it is your responsibility to trust your comrades, trust your allies, learn from them so that way you can become a better leader. And the fact that Devon lashed out as someone he considers friends, that to me really turned me off a bit. It really did, but I feel it did help with the character development down the line. Like I said, it's a nitpick that I have with this episode because if anything, Devon has to shoulder the responsibility of being a leader. And that also means that he has a lot to learn. Not only that, but I feel for some reason Scrozzle is becoming a punching bag for both Roxy and Blaze. I mean, come on. Scrozzle is pretty much the evil version of Alpha 5, aka Evox's Alpha, pretty much. But he does provide some use. Especially in the episode when it was revealed that he was able to recover some parts that Ravi said, aka Blue Buster, were not important. Oh, how wrong he is. Why is that? Because at the end of the episode, Evox scolded Roxy and Blaze for their failure. Whereas Scrozzle comes in and reports that he gotten what he needs for something that Evox and him had talked about. What is it? We're gonna have to find out down the line. And trust me, Evox doesn't take failure lightly like every other villain. I only hope he doesn't become too terrible as a villain. As for Ben and Betty, their subplot does have some significance to the main plot itself. Like, in the episode, the three Rangers along with Ben and Betty were pretty much launching model rockets. And regarding Ben and Betty, their model rocket belonged to their dad, and they spent some of the plot trying to find it. Though they do find it, it eventually leads up to the Avatar Roxy finding the hangar where the disabled Gigadrone was. Though in a way, it does help the plot, and I really liked how the plot ended up pretty nicely. With the other Rangers recovering the rocket, repairing it, and getting it to work. So honestly, it was a happy ending. And though their bit is humorous at best, it was pretty awesome. However, this episode gets props for another reason. 6 episodes in, and we finally got it. We finally have the Rangers' Megazord, the Beast-X Megazord. It's basically Power Rangers' version of Go Buster O, combining the red Zord along with the blue and yellow Zords together to become an even more powerful Megazord. I really love the design, and it's about time, but I didn't really think we would get it 6 episodes in. Normally, most Power Rangers shows would have their Megazord either the first 2 or 3 episodes in. The only exception being Power Rangers, where they have the Megazord in the very first episode. And it's actually kind of nice that we have it 6 episodes in, because it did allow the Rangers time to develop before they bring out the big guns. And they really did bring out the heavy artillery, because taking down both Gigadrones was just worth it. Although, why do we need the Cheetah Beast Blaster for the finishing move? That I don't get. Sure, I understand it's meant to sell toys, but I don't think we need it all the time. Sooner or later, that thing's gonna get blasted and they may need something better. Hey, at least it led to the Gigadrones getting their butts kicked, so that works. The episode is good, although I feel the idea of Devon's trust issues was settled in a pretty rushed manner. During one part of the episode, when they were trapped in the hangar, Ravi decided to release the other Rangers and throw Devon out. Why? So that Devon can be able to summon his Zord and be able to battle the Gigadrone and find a way out. Now, I for one felt that, yeah, I was a bit too far, but it did kind of help Devon realize that, yeah, you can't just keep relying on your own instincts all the time. Sometimes you need to accept help from others in order to solve a situation. And that's one of the things I feel that Devon needs to learn as becoming a leader. Hopefully he will eventually be able to figure things out. And yeah, even though it was settled in somewhat of a rushed manner, at least it ended up on a high note. He also manned up and apologized, so there's that. If Devon is to be a good leader, he must learn to not only trust his teammates, but he also must learn to accept what he can learn from them. That is the most important thing about being a leader, especially when you're leading the Power Rangers. Having to learn to trust them, also to learn to accept what they can provide. But hey, I'm not perfect with all that, so if you're free to disagree, be my guest. My final score for this is an 8. A very good episode, although the trust issue thing was a nitpick I have for it. Though it did provide some development, I felt that Devon should not lash out at his friends. I mean, come on, why would you? I mean, that's messed up. Although I could be wrong. And the Ben and Betty subplot actually did help the main plot, so I give kudos for that. They were actually pretty awesome, though. So yeah, what do you guys think of the episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell. Doing it all helps to my benefit. It really does. This is MegamanNG, signing off. Peace out. See you next week for episode 7. Let's morphing.